So regarding hibernation and aestivation, you might have studied something already. Hibernation and aestivation are basically state of inactivity. Most of the time, this hibernation or aestivation are exhibited by homeothermic animals like mammals. Most of the time, hibernation is exhibited, or endotherms. Endotherms means animals which are capable of maintaining their normal, maintaining a constant body temperature, like human beings or mammals. So hibernation is basically state of inactivity, and or metabolic depression. What is metabolic depression? The physiological activities in your body will be going at a lower pace. That is the meaning of the word metabolic depression. Now, what happens in a hibernation? During a hibernation, your body temperature will be going down. So, normally mammals will be having a body temperature around 35, 36 or 37 degree. And the body and during hibernation, what happens in a mammal is that their body temperature may come down to 25 or 20. So, and that means only very low body temperature is maintained, so that less energy has to be utilized by the animal. Slow breathing process. There is another thing, just to keep the body alive. That is a slow breathing, only minimum amount of oxygen will be consumed, and slow heart rate, the very little pumping of the blood, and low overall metabolic rate. So these are some of the important features of hibernation. Now, when hibernation normally occurs, it is during the winter season or winter months, and traditionally speaking, this hibernation is exhibited by few animals like rodents, bear, like polar bear. That is a good example of polar bear. So they will be hibernating during the winter season. One advantage of hibernating in the winter season is that during winter season, the chance of getting a food or chance of finding a prey is very difficult. So if you are exposed to extreme cold, a lot of energy will be wasted, and very little benefit will be there. If the polar bear couldn't find any prey, it will simply wasting its energy that is already in its body, but it is not able to replenish or get back that energy from a prey by eating a prey. So it is always better to avoid much physical activity during a winter season. So that is why these kind of polar bear rodents are going into hibernation during a winter season, so that their body they remain healthy. Then many experts believe that the process of daily torpor means simply sleep, and hibernation form a continuum and utilize. There are two different situations: daily torpor and hibernation. Daily torpor means in a day the animal will be going into a kind of sleep for a certain hours. That is the meaning of the daily torpor. Hibernation is slightly different. In a hibernation, that will be for several months, maybe 1 month, 2 months or 3 months, like that. Then hibernation is usually occurring during winter season and often associated with low temperature, and the main purpose of hibernation is to conserve your energy, so that when there is very little food is available. That happens during winter season. Another process that happens is that during a hibernation, polar bear or rodents, they will be decreasing their metabolic activity, because if the metabolic activities are maintained at the normal level, lot of energy will be utilized. So that is actually a problem for the animal. So to avoid that, what the animals are doing is that they will reduce their metabolic activity, like the rate of breathing, rate of heart circulation, and rate of movement. They are not moving, so that there will not be any wastage of energy. So all the energies are conserved, all the energies are saved, so that the animal is just living in a situation like this. It is not moving much, it is simply sleeping most of the time, and a body temperature is also reduced, so that there is no waste of energy that is present. And before hibernation, most of the time the polar bear will be eating too much, and storing lot of fat in its body, and that reserve fat will be utilized by the polar bear or rodents to survive during the month of hibernation. You know. So before entering the hibernation, animal needs to store enough energy to last to the duration of the dormant period. So that is why they will be eating a lot of food. Then that is the case of hibernation. Here also you can find another picture of hibernation. Because they are actually sleeping like that. When there is cold, we are also sleeping like that. What is the purpose of that? Because most of the time we are losing our body temperature from our hands as well as our legs. It is the extremities of the body that loses heat faster. So that when we are in a position like that, we can conserve our heat a lot. That is what animals are also doing. They will be rolling up like a ball, so that there is less wastage of heat. Then there are true hibernation. See here, body temperature in some animals come to 0 degree, almost 0 degree centigrade in some cases. Respiration means only few breathing per minute. That is the case where heartbeat is very slow. Now, what happens is that when the animal is exposed to if you are taking that polar bear or a rat that is hibernating, and we take it to the lab. In the lab, we are putting it in an AC, and the temperature is maintained at 35 or 30 degree or 25 degree. After some hours, the animal will come back. This hibernating animal will immediately awake, they will be slowly awakened. They will come back to their normal state. So that the scientists have tried that. So the increased temperature or exposed to a moderate warm, animal slowly awakens. They require only 1 hour or 2 hours to come back to our normal state. So that is another peculiar. Here also you can find these are bats. Bats are also hibernating like this. Then among mammals, these are some of the animals which are showing hibernation. Bats are exhibiting, hedgehog are exhibiting, rodentia, squirrels, marmots, etc. are hibernating. And these are some examples of animal hibernating. And there is one more situation in. Sometimes, if the animal is hibernating for several months, in between they will be awakening, and they will be increasing its body temperature, awakens, they will move about, collect food, and then it go back to the hibernation again. That kind of phenomenon is also observed. So instead of a continuous hibernation for several months, some animals are utilizing a different approach in which during the hibernation itself, they will awaken and start feeding for some time and again go back to hibernation. Here this is another squirrel is hibernating, you can see that. Then this is another picture of a polar bear hibernating. Then here, and in the case of polar bear, what we are seeing is that most of the time polar bear will be nurturing his baby, or most of the time the gestation or pregnancy of the polar bear will be taking place during the time of hibernation. Maybe immediately just before hibernation or immediately after the hibernation, this polar bear will be delivering his baby. So that they are utilizing hibernation as a period of pregnancy or a period of gestation. So that is one way by which they are utilizing the wastage of energy. Here you can see how the polar bear, how the tunnel of a polar bear is situated. There will be a main chamber there, then there will be cubs chamber will be there, then there will be lower chamber, and there will be two tunnel. There is a tunnel for gap for taking in the air. There will be entrance for tunnel. So this is the situation of a polar bear den. So during hibernation, the animals will be losing around 15 to 27% of their pre-hibernation weight. So there will be a lot of weight loss, because during hibernation animal is not eating anything. So since animal is not eating anything, its body weight decreases around 27 up to 27 percentage or 1/4 of their body weight that will that will be it will be decreased. So that is the case in the and here I have already told you the female polar bear go into hibernation during the cold winter months in order to give birth to their offspring. So in case of polar bear they are using it like that. Now there is another situation known as brumation. The true hibernation is present only in mammals or we can say homeotherms. Only in homeotherms we can find true hibernation. But there are some animals, especially insects, they are not, they cannot hibernate in the proper sense because insects are heterothermic animals. Heterothermic animals means they don't have a constant body temperature. Their body temperature is dependent on the temperature of the environment. The temperature of the environment is 30 degree, their body temperature will also be 30 degree. That is not the case in the case of a mammal. In a mammal, if the temperature is 30 degree outside, they will be keeping a temperature of 37 degree or 36 degree. That is the case with the most of the true mammals. So only in the case of true mammals or endotherms we are finding true hibernation. Whereas the insects and other lower animals, they cannot have a proper hibernation. Instead of hibernation, they are exhibiting a kind of brumation. See, and brumation means are plainly present ectothermic animals, and they will be going into some kind of dormancy. For example, here a wasp is there, a polistes is the type of name of that wasp. Here also we can find a similar wasp, and they are also exhibiting some kind of dormancy, a kind of sleep, and that situation is known as a brumation, not hibernation. See, in animal reptiles also we can find a brumation. Brumation is a case of dormancy which is exhibited by turtles, tortoises, snakes, etc. In insects also there we can find this brumation, but it is slightly different from proper hibernation. Proper hibernation is only exhibited by mammals. Now second is the case of aestivation. In the case of aestivation, what happens? Hibernation occurs during colder month or the winter season, whereas aestivation takes place during summer season. So hibernation is a cold triggered dormancy. Aestivation is a heat triggered or temperature warm heat triggered dormancy. This is basically the difference between aestivation and hibernation. In both cases, the aestivation is also characterized by lowered metabolic rate. In aestivation, if the animal is walking too much, they will be losing lot of energy. Now, if we are walking in a hot sun, what will be the case? Our body will be sweating, and lot of energy will be wasted from our body. Lot of water will be lost from our body. So animals know that it is not good to spend too much time in a hot sun or during summer season in open. So what they are doing is that they are reducing their activity during summer season. So during summer season they reduce their activity, they will lower their metabolic rate, and they are also going into a kind of sleep or dormancy. And that situation is known by the name aestivation, just the opposite of hibernation. Hibernation occurs in the colder period, whereas aestivation takes place in summer season or in warmer period. So that is the main difference between aestivation and hibernation. Now in the case of aestivation also we can almost similar type of behavioral or physiological response also we can find. See, this is also some examples of aestivation. Here you can find a snail. And what are the important advantages of aestivation? In the case of aestivation, their main purpose is to conserve energy. The same in the case of hibernation. Because spending too much time in a colder environment or in a hot environment is not good for the body. It will be resulting in a wastage of so much energy. So main purpose of hibernation or aestivation is to conserve energy. to retain enough amount of water. For example, in this aestivation, the ration they use of stored energy, whatever energy that is already present in our body has to be spent safely. Then handle the nitrogenous waste products properly. Then stabilize the bodily organ like macromolecules. And in some animals, we can find there is along with this depression of metabolism, we can find a reduction in the macromolecular synthesis. And there is a type of proteins known as chaperone protein. The purpose of this chaperone protein is that during any hibernation, there will be a reduction in the production of the proteins as well as their degradation. These chaperone proteins are some kind of proteins that help to stabilize the proteins from degrading or getting destroyed. So such proteins are known as chaperone proteins. Now before aestivation, many animals are increasing the number or level of chaperone proteins so that the proteins in our body will be stabilized without getting damaged. So these are the situations of aestivation. So aestivation and hibernation are two situations just opposite to each other, but their main purpose of aestivation or hibernation is to conserve energy, enable the animal to survive longer period. So that is the main purpose of either aestivation or hibernation.